Well, Lord, honey, how are y'all today? Happy New Year's Eve. Today is Thursday, January. It ain't January at all. It's December 31st. Listen, I'm a rushing this. Let me tell y'all. Sorry I didn't do the Wednesday night cooking demo last night, but I wanted to wait and do it today when everybody is at home, either getting ready for your big parties tonight at home, or you're just trying to decide what you're going to wear to the couch to watch the ball drop, and so I wore my blankie for y'all today. It's a little bit New Year's Eve-ish. I still have on my pajama bottoms, see, so that's all right, honey. It's all sparkly on top and comfy on the bottom. So, welcome to the Country Bling Cooking Show, and this is the last episode of Season 2, so make sure you be watching for Season 3. It'll be starting soon, so watch for that post on Facebook and Instagram to see when Season 3 will start. But today, I wanted to stop by and just wish you all the bestest and merriest and brightest New Year's ever. We're all ready to get rid of 2020 and start a new 2021. So I wanted to show you all an appetizer today that I think you all are going to like. Now, I could stand here and talk about how to make sausage balls new and different, how to make pinwheels new and different, how to make little sliders new and different, or mini tacos, or things like that. All those appetizers that we know and love, from the little smokies and the barbecue sauce with the grape jelly, and then to the meatballs that we love in barbecue sauce, and all the great wings out there. We could talk about those for days. But I want to bring back to the light, as most people have kind of forgotten this food, and I have jazzed it up to make it new and different just in time for New Year's, honey. Just in time for y'all to make it tonight, to watch the ball drop. Some people are still having parties, but it's just a lot less people at home. And, it's just going to be a very minimal kind of New Year's this year. But that's all right, too. Taking in granted of 2020, I think that's fitting this year. But, you still can wear your sparkles, even if you're going to sit on the couch and watch the ball drop. All right, so let's talk about this recipe today. So this is what I call my party poppin' corn. That's right, popcorn is still a great food that we all kind of eat from time to time, either when we're watching a movie. It used to be big when we went to the movie theaters, ball games, anything like that. We used to have popcorn, but we all know that popcorn is either being kettle corn, a buttered popcorn, or caramel corn. But today, I'm going to show you a new take on popcorn that you all are just going to pop over. Did y'all get that? Just pop over? All right, so now let's talk about popcorn for a minute. In this recipe, which you can find on southerncountryBling.com, let's talk about the popcorn. So there's all kinds of different popcorn. Sometimes I use the little bitty kernels, which is called a finger popcorn. And it just makes a little bitty kernel. And you can also use a big kernel, which pops up like this. Now, today I'm using a pre-popped popcorn. Now, if you want to pop your own, that's perfectly fine. I pop my own all the time, but I had this one today, and I thought, this is just butter flavored. I really want to jazz it up, so why not? Now, you can buy it already pre-made in bags in the store, or this, I think, actually is some popcorn that somebody got me in a popcorn tin this year for Christmas. And I love those popcorns, but I like to jazz them up just a little bit. So any popcorn will work in this recipe. You just want to make sure that you measure it like the recipe says. All right, so we've talked about our popcorn. Now, and there's all different varieties of popcorn. There's white popcorn, there's yellow popcorn, there's blue popcorn, there's red popcorn. There's all different colors, like I just mentioned in varieties. Ladyfinger. You have one out there that's called Big Puff. You have Huskless. You have all different kinds. Any popcorn will work here, guys. And I just want to bring popcorn back so that it can be the center of attention again, because used to it was. So, all right, so let's get started in on this recipe. So I have some melted butter, and I have cooked off some chopped bacon. Now, reserve the bacon grease here, y'all, and I mixed it with my melted butter, because that's where the flavor also comes in, is that bacon grease mixed with that butter. All right, so to this mixture of melted butter and bacon grease, I'm going to add white pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and just a little bit of sea salt. Now, you don't need a whole lot of salt simply because butter has salt, bacon grease has salt, and usually if you're using a store-bought popcorn, it already has salt. But I just have a very little bit of flaky sea salt here, and we just add that to the butter. And then I have the kicked up seasoning is what I call it. We have fresh, or not fresh, it's ground dried basil. And we also have just a little bit of hot crushed red pepper flakes. And we just add that to the butter too. And we just want to stir that together just to incorporate. Now, why do we put our spices in our butter and our bacon grease? Well, let me tell you. So when we put the spices into the bacon grease and the butter and stir it up, what this does is when we pour it over the popcorn, those seasonings and spices get distributed evenly on all the kernels of popcorn. We could just toss it in, but then it's not going to get on there very well. And the butter sticks to all the seasonings and sticks to that popcorn, honey. So when you eat it, honey, your drawers will just fly right out the window. It's so good. So just stir that up. And then we're going to add to our popcorn, we're just going to add that chopped up bacon that we cooked. Just sprinkle it on. And then I have some grated Parmesan cheese. Now you can use grated, you can use shredded, but any type of Parmesan cheese. And then also, this cheese has salt in it, so that's why we're not adding a whole lot of salt either. So just sprinkle that over your popcorn. And then we want to fluff it up. Now what I say when we fluff it up is we're just distributing the cheese and the bacon here very well, and then it'll get more mixed in a minute. Now we have one last ingredient we're going to add to the butter, and that is honey. Now this is a clover honey. You can use any type of honey. I like clover honey. There's orange blossom honey. There's honey in the raw. If you use honey in the raw, you have to melt it down first and then put it in here. But any variety of honey will work here. And you just need a couple tablespoons. Now, I'm going to show you, if you don't have a measuring tablespoon, of how to measure a couple tablespoons just by counting. So when you start squeezing the honey, you want to count 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. And by the time you get to 3 1,000, you have a tablespoon. So 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. There's 1 tablespoon, and we need another one. So 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. There is 2 tablespoons of butter, 2 tablespoons of honey. And that's the easiest way to measure out your honey, so you're not pouring it in a tablespoon and then having to wash your tablespoon, especially for this because it's just a seasoning here. Now, if it's a recipe that calls for a specific amount, like say 1/4 of a cup, a 1/2 a cup, a teaspoon, then by all means, please measure it. I love popcorn. I remember growing up, we used to eat a lot of popcorn because my grandmother and my grandfather always had it. Granny would pop it on the stove in a kettle with butter and a little bit of oil. And my dad used to, honey, children, he would eat popcorn for Sunday night supper, honey. That's all he had. He'd eat popcorn and a big old glass of orange juice, and that was his supper on Sunday night. Honey, I was more like, can we have some leftover fried chicken or something instead of popcorn? But that's all right. So I know we don't have Miss Lisa on the line today. Miss Lisa is, she is getting ready for her family New Year's party, which is just her and her kids. So she couldn't be on the line today, but she said to tell everybody Happy New Year's, and she can't wait to ask her questions on Season 3. So, like I said, you can get today's recipe on SouthernCountryBling.com along with everything else. And, you know, this is one of those things that we're looking back now on 2020. And, you know, I know 2020 was rough for everybody, but I'm super thankful that I woke up every single day and I got to live another day to bring great recipes in my life to you all, to try to help you all through one of the roughest times that we have known. So, I know we're all ready to get rid of it, though. Let's get rid of it. All right, so now that I have my honey stirred up in here, we're just going to drizzle this over our popcorn. And we just want to do that with a light hand, a light drizzle, but we're going to mix it all up together in a minute anyway. So you just want to take 2 big spoons and you just want to get in here and you want to toss it around. Now, the reason why we want to toss this is because we're coating each kernel of popcorn with all that wonderful flavors and seasonings. And then we're also tossing the cheese in here and the bacon. And that cheese and bacon, the honey will make the cheese and bacon stick to that popcorn. And honey, let me tell y'all, this is one of the quickest, one of the easiest appetizers there is. You can just get a handful of this and walk around the house with a drink in one hand and popcorn in the other hand. And you could also put these out in small cups. And then they could just pick up the cup and eat it out of the cup as they're walking around. Now, I know there'll be very few people at your gatherings this year, but this would be the perfect year to make this popcorn, and that way you can use this recipe next year when hopefully we all can be having our big New Year's Eve parties again like we're used to. Alright, so you'll notice that when to stop tossing is you don't see any more cheese in the bottom of the bowl, and you see that all the kernels look like they have at least a little bit of seasoning on there, and it turns color, so it goes from shiny to kind of dull looking. That lets me know that the cheese has coated the popcorn very evenly, and I wish you all could smell this. From that bacon to that Parmesan cheese and that garlic and the onions and the basil and that little bit of black pepper that's going to give you just a little bit of flavor, but the spice comes in that red crushed pepper. So, this looks great. Now you can either, at this point, you can pour it out in a big fancy bowl, or you can just leave your spoons in here and set it on your buffet that's got all your appetizers on it. You know, New Year's is one of those things that, you know, it's all about the appetizers for me on New Year's. It's all about little bites. And I love little bites, especially for New Year's, because they're so wonderful. You can just eat on them all night long and wait on the big ball to drop while you're watching your New Year's Eve parties. Or you're just sitting on the couch watching TV in your sparkly gowns and jackets like I'm wearing today, and just sit with this popcorn, and before you know it, the movie's over with and it's time to watch the ball drop. So, I just want to show you all. I'm going to get some in my hand here. Get a little bit of the bacon and stuff in here. And I'm just going to get it up real close. And look, whoop, there went a piece. Oh, I'll have to let the chicken then to eat that one. No, I can pick it up and throw it away. It is super, super yummy. And it's super, oh my gosh, guys. This is so good. This makes you want to dance. I can hear the music now. And the ball's getting ready to drop. And I'm just dancing around, eating my popcorn. Oh, and maybe just a little bit of drink. I love some good cider on New Year's Eve. And you can put a little bourbon in it if you wanted to. But look, everybody thinks I'm drinking champagne, walking through the house, carrying my popcorn, just laughing, having a good old time, having a little bit of cider, which nobody knows different. Oh my gosh, guys, that bacon, that popcorn, the butter, all that basil's coming through, the garlic, the onion, that little bit of heat from the crushed red pepper. I guarantee you, if you don't try this popcorn, which is my party popping corn, then you haven't eaten popcorn before. Honey, children, I'm telling you, this right here will change your life. It will make the sequins on your gown, honey, stand up and holler, woo! Let's party. All right, guys, just a quick appetizer just to set your New Year's party off. And I guarantee you that you're going to love this, and get all the other great appetizer recipes that we have on SouthernCountryBling.com. Jump on over there and check her out. And make sure that you sign up for my new YouTube channel, Country Bling Cooking. No G on the end of cooking. Country Bling Cooking on YouTube. You can see this video and more videos right there, and watch along and cook with me on there. Cheers to you all. I hope you all have the bestest and wonderful New Year's ever. Let's make it a best one ever. Let's kick New Year 2020 out the door open up the door at midnight and let the new year in and the old year out. That's an old tradition. Open up your doors, honey, right as the clock's striking midnight, and that lets the old year out and the new year in. And I know we all need it this year. So get on your sequins, sit on the couch and watch the ball drop. Have something to drink. Have some party popping going. Honey, I guarantee you all will thank me. So now I'm going to take my popcorn and my drink, and I'm going to go enjoy a good movie and then watch the ball drop. You all have the bestest New Year ever, and watch for season 3. It'll be coming out of Country Bling Cooking soon. I love you all. Stay safe. Stay merry. And as I always say, it's homemade. It's made with love. And Lord, honey, it's so good. Love y'all. Bye.